Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Neet Biology Made Easy. Let us discuss the syllabus for biology. The biology paper consists of 90 marks, having 90 questions, in fact having 4 marks each. That is coming equal to 360 marks. Physics and chemistry each is having 45 marks, 45 questions, in fact coming to 180 marks each. So 180 from physics, 180 from chemistry and 360 from biology. The total of 720 marks are accumulated. The biology has got 60% weightage. It is more important than physics chemistry, but still physics chemistry do have some, you have to take them into, you have to study for all 3 subjects. But I meant to say that biology, if you are doing good in biology, you can easily crack Neet exam. So let us now discuss the biology portion of Neet. The syllabus consists of 2 parts: the contents of class 11th and the contents of class 12th. Under class 11th, we have the first unit, which is diversity in living world. This is the basic unit which you must have studied in your 9th, 10th class. The basic biology, the living world, the living organisms, plant, animal, etc., and classification thereof. So what here tries to make you understand is the world of biology, the world of living. The first question which comes here is, what is living? So then you have to study the biodiversity, the need for classification, 3 domains of life, taxonomy and systematics, the difference between 2, then concept of species. Under species you have to study many more things: subspecies and water speciation, which is also related with evolution part. Then taxonomical hierarchy. What is hierarchy? Basically the classification of organisms into different levels, like you have classes, families, orders, etc. Then you have binomial nomenclature, tools for study of taxonomy, that's museums, zoos, herbaria, botanical garden. One question from this portion was there in Neet 2018 question paper. Then you have 5 kingdom classification, salient feature and classification of Monera, Protista, fungi into major groups. You have to study lichen, you have to study viruses and what are viroids. This portion, whole portion, is a general portion. It's not specific to zoology or botany, but this portion belongs to botany and this portion belongs to zoology. So this is botany portion, this is animal life. Here you will see salient features and classification of plant into major group. So you have to study algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. If you see the ladder of evolution and geological time scale, algae evolved first, followed by bryophyte and so on up to angiosperms. These are advanced plants. Angio means fruit bearing. It exactly means the sperm or the seed is enclosed within fruit. Gymno means naked abuse. There is no fruit. These are merged plants. So you have to study all of them. The important thing is that you have to study 3 to 5 salient and distinguishing features of each, and with 2 examples. Now what is distinguishing feature? Is that feature which is peculiar to the particular class, which is not present anywhere in other classes, like pteridophytes. There are some distinguishing features like spores which are not present anywhere, or in angiosperms will find a fruit that's not found anywhere. You have to study 5 salient and distinguishing features with examples. Likewise, in advancement of the classification for angiosperms, you have to study them up to class level with characteristic feature and example of each. So angiosperms is the most important. You have to study them more precisely. Coming to the next section from zoology, the salient feature classification of animals. Non-chordata up to phyla, chordata up to class level. So non-chordata are generally called invertebrata. You have to study phylas like Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminth, Dimetahelminth, Annelid, Arthropoda, Echinodermata, Mollusca. But in chordates or vertebrates, you have to study them up to class level, like pisces, amphibians, reptiles, birds or aves, and finally the mammals. 3 to 5 salient feature, and again 2 examples. So this is important. You have to study with examples and features. So we are not going into the depth of these phylas, because then it becomes more and more diversified. Taking another unit, this is structural organization in animals and plants. So this is concerned with botany, this is concerned with zoology. In botany you have morphology and modification. You know, modification is must. One of question came from here. That was sweet potato is a modified portion. Which part of plant? So then you have to study tissue, the meristematic tissues, the permanent tissue, xylem, phloem. Then you have to study anatomy and functions of different parts of flowering plants, that is root, stem, leaf, inflorescence, flower, fruit, seed. Now anatomy of root, that is a cross section of root. There is a pith, vascular bundles, endodermis, pericycle, whatever. Then you have to study its function. Likewise for others, stem, leaf, etc. Inflorescence is arrangement of flowers on peduncle or branch. You have to study its types and subtypes. If there is a practical aspect, you have to also do. You have to touch that portion also. In zoology, you have to study animal tissues first. So this is, you have to study the epithelial tissues, connecting tissues, and others, nervous system, the tissues of neurons. Then you have to study the morphology, anatomy, and functions of different systems, that is digestive, circulatory, respiratory, nervous, and reproductive system of cockroach. Here the specific example is given. It's a brief account only. So we have selected invertebrate, that is insect, that is arthropod phyla. The example of cockroach you have to study is systems, different systems of cockroach, their anatomy and their function, in order to, so that you get to know about animal tissues and general morphology of animal. So this is a typical example of animal, cockroach. Now moving to this another section, this is a general section related with cell biology, the cell structure and function. In this you have to study cell theory, cell as basic unit of life, then structure of prokaryote and eukaryote cell, then again plants and animal cell, differences, cell envelope, cell membrane, cell wall, cell organelle. So there are different endomembrane systems like Golgi and endoplasmic reticulum. You have to study lysosome, vacuole, mitochondria, ribosome, blastocyst, microbiome, cytoskeleton, centrioles. In centrioles, flagellaceae, you have to study ultrastructure and function. that is transverse section. Then nucleus, nuclear membrane, chromatin, nucleolus. As you see in Neet 2018 biology question paper, there were many questions. One was from nucleolus, chromatin, then was one from flagella, cilia, I said there was a paramecium actually, plastids, mitochondria, lysosomes, Golgi body, endoplasm reticulum was there. Like there was a rough endoplasm reticulum did not secrete, which that the answer was fatty acid. So this is very important section. Now another part is chemical constituents of living cell. This biomolecules, structure and function of protein, carbohydrate, lipid, nucleic acid. So for proteins you have studied amino acids. There's carbon, carboxylic group, then nitrogen group, H and R is a chain, though this is basic amino acid backbone structure. You have to study the amino acids, then simple and complex proteins. Then you have to study carbohydrates, like glucose, how glucose gets formed by 6 carbons joining together. There is a functional group also, and hydroxyl group, and carbonyl group. Then what are the chain structures of glucose, like pyranose, furanol, etc. Lipids, you have to study alcohols, how they form lipid, fatty acid, then complex lipids. You have to study nucleic acids, DNA, RNA, etc. Regarding enzymes, the types of enzymes, properties, there's a difference between catalyst and enzyme. Then you have to study enzyme action, how enzyme acts, lock and key theory, etc. The theories of this enzyme action. You have to study cell division, important topic, cell cycle, mitosis, meiosis, and their significance. Under cell cycle, you have to study cyclins and other proteins. Then you have important section of plants, that's plant physiology. It's all about plant world. The full unit is dedicated to plants. Transport in plants, movement of water, gases and nutrients, cell to cell transport. What is diffusion? Facilitated diffusion is important. Active transport, this with the help of energy. Plant water relation. What is imbibition? What is water potential? How it is calculated? What is osmosis? What is plasmolysis? Long distance transport of water. Absorption, apoplast and symplast, important. Transpiration of pull, its theories, root pressure and guttation. Transpiration, opening and closing of stomata, how it is regulated by potassium. Again, 2 questions came from here. That was, which gas does not affect the opening closing stomata? That was oxygen. Second was, turgidity of a cell is maintained by potassium. Then you have uptake and translocation of mineral nutrients, transport of food, phloem transport, mass flow hypothesis, diffusion of gases, brief mention. Then a mineral nutrition, essential minerals, macro and micronutrients, their role. If they are deficient, what are the symptoms in plant? Mineral toxicity, elementary idea of hydroponics as a method to study mineral nutrition. You have to study nitrogen fixation, important, nitrogen cycle, biological nitrogen fixation is important. Then you have to study photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, you have to study as a means of aerotrophic nutrition. Site of photosynthesis takes place. Pigments involved. Photosynthesis, simple. Photochemical and biosynthetic phases of photosynthesis, cyclic, non-cyclic, photophosphorylation. In respiration, there is a formation of ATP that is called oxidative phosphorylation. But in photosynthesis, there is a use of light. With the help of light, we want to get ATP. Phosphorylation is the formation of ATP with the help of light. It is called photophosphorylation. You have key osmotic hypothesis given by Peter Mitchell of Edinburgh, Scotland. You have studied C3 and C4 plants. In C3 plants there is TCA cycle, there is a C4 cycle because it is a 6-4 carbon compound form. First, factors affecting photosynthesis. Then you have studied respiration, exchange of gases, cellular respiration, glycolysis is important, fermentation, and TCA cycle. If glycolysis is followed by the pathway which does not involve oxygen, that is fermentation. If it involves oxygen, then it's a TCA cycle, a Krebs cycle. You have to study electron transport system, energy relation, number of ATP molecules generated, amphiboolic pathway, respiratory quotient, how it is calculated. Then to plant growth and movement, that's plant growth and development, seed germination, phases of plant growth, growth rate, conditions of growth, differentiation, de-differentiation, and redifferentiation, sequence of developmental process in a plant cell, growth regulators. You have to study plant hormones, auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, ethylene, abscisic acid, seed dormancy, and vernalization. This is cold treatment for germination of plant. Photoperiodism concept, important one. Then under animal section, zoology, you are not going to study the animal, you will study the human physiology. This digestion and absorption, alimentary canal and digestive glands. This is important. Role of digestive enzymes, gastrointestinal hormones, peristalsis, digestion, absorption, assimilation of protein, carbohydrate, fat, how they go through lactulose into the liver, how liver is acts as a metabolic office, the caloric value of protein and fat, others. What is digestion, nutritional and digestion disorder, protein energy malnutrition, indigestion, constipation, vomiting, jaundice, diarrhea. Important. In fact, human physiology is more important because once you are going into the medical stream, you have to study this much more emphasis because this is what you have to study in your MBBS, BDS. Then you have to study breathing and respiration, respiratory organs in animals, respiratory system in human, mechanism of breathing and its regulation in humans, like extra-intercostal muscles, intra-intercostal muscles, diaphragm, etc. That's very important. Exchange of gases, transport of gases, regulation of respiratory volumes. Again, one question came from here, the tidal volume, reservoir volume, etc. So volumes is very important. Respiratory volumes. Disorders related to respiration, asthma, emphysema, occupational respiratory disorder. Again, question came from here. So that was important question. This all about what I'm talking about. Neet 2018 question paper, which is followed in the video series where I have analyzed the whole paper of 90 questions. Then you have to study body fluids and circulation, the composition of blood groups. In composition of blood, you have to study plasma, blood cells, RBC, WBC, platelets. Blood groups, again question came from here. 2 questions in fact. Then you study coagulation of blood, composition of leaf and its function, human circulatory system, structure of human heart. Again question came from here. Tricuspid, bicuspid volume, cellular values. Then you study blood vessel, cardiac cycle, cardiac output, ECG. You have to study double circulation, regulation of, that is on another page, that is go to that page. Regulation of cardiac activity, that is important. Disorder of circulatory system, that is hypertension, coronary artery disease, angina pectoris, heart failure. Under excretory system, you have studied excretory production and then elimination, the modes of excretion, that is ammonotalism, it is ammonia, Ureterism is urea, uricotalism is uric acid, human excretory system, structure and function, urine formation, osmoregulation, regulation of kidney function, renin-angiotensin, arterial natriuretic factor, ADH and diabetic insipidus, that is antidiuretic hormone vasopressin, role of other organs in excretion, disorders, uremia, renal failure, renal calculi, nephritis, dialysis, and artificial kidney. As you see in the paper, the questions came from here. What is gout? The questions came from osmoregulation. The questions were related to renin-angiotensin. So these are important sections. Then you have to study locomotion and movement. Types of locomotion: ciliary, flagellary, muscular. Then skeletal muscle, contractile protein like actin, myosin, muscle contraction, skeletal system and dysfunction. If there is a practical, that is be covered. Joint disorders of muscular and skeletal system. There is myasthenia gravis, autoimmune disease, tetany, muscular dystrophy, arthritis, osteoporosis, and gout. Gout question came again. Osteoporosis came. Which hormone affects? That was estrogen, and another was parathyroid hormone. So neural control and coordination, neuron and nervous system in humans, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and visceral. That is central. Then generation and conduction of neuroimpulse, reflex action, sense organ, elementary structure and function of eye. Again, question was that for eye, that was lens is attached through ligaments to ciliary body. The question came from nervous system, neurons, nasal granules, etc. Then you have chemical coordination and regulation, endocrine gland and hormone, human endocrine system, hypothalamus. There was a question from hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, pancreas, gonad, mechanism of hormone action, elementary area. That is how hormone go on to act. The elementary area of hormone. That is, you will find how it triggers the cascade of hormone function. That is important. Role of hormone as messengers and regulators. Hypo and hyperactivity of related disorders. You had a question. Any questions here? So there is dwarfism, acromegaly, cretinism, gout, exophthalmic gout, diabetes, Addison disease. It has given the disease and disorders mentioned above to be dealt in brief. Now we have completed the portion of 11th class. Let's look on 12th class, the portion which is to be taken from 12th class. That is the reproduction in organisms. So this is general. What is the reproduction? Characteristic feature of organism, function of species, modes of reproduction, asexual, sexual, asexual, binary fission, sporulation, budding, gemule, fragmentation, vegetative propagation, plants. Question was that was related to this budding. Then this was general, and this is botany portion. This one is zoology portion. The sexual reproduction, flowering plants, flower structure, development of male, female gametophytes, pollination types, agencies and examples, outbreeding devices, pistil, pollen interaction, double fertilization. In question papers code series A, the first question was double fertilization. What is double fertilization? So question came from here. Post fertilization events, development and endosperm and embryo, development of seed and formation of fruit, special moods, apomixis, parthenocarpy, polyembryony, significance of seed and fruit. Then Zoology, human reproduction, this male and female reproductive system. Microscopic anatomy of testes and ovary. So you have to study the whole structure or ultrastructure under microscope. What is inside testes and what is inside ovary. Gametogens, you have to study spermatogens and oogens. The question came from this one. There is a question from this part. Menstrual cycle, fertilization, embryo development up to blastocyst formation. Again, question was from here. Then implantation, pregnancy and placenta formation. Question was from placenta. Elementary area, this partition to childbirth, elementary area, lactation, elementary area. Now this is general reproductive health, need for reproductive health and prevention of sexually transmitted diseases, birth control and need methods. So we had a question from here that was Saheli, contraceptives and medical termination of pregnancy. So there is a question from here, contraceptives, amniocentesis, infertility and assisted reproductive technology, there is IVF, ZIFT, in vitro fertilization, zygotic interfollicular transfer, gametic interfollicular transfer, elementary area for general awareness. Then you have genetics and evolution, heredity and variation, Mendelism, deviation from Mendelian law, that is incomplete dominance, co-dominance, multiple allele, inheritance of blood group. There is a question from here also, periotropy, elementary area, polygenic inheritance, chromosome theory of inheritance, chromosomes and genes, sex determination in human, bird and honeybee. Again question was from here. Then linkage and crossing over, sex linked inheritance. Again question was from here, hemophilia. Then you have to study color blindness. Then mental disorder in humans, this thalassemia, chromatic disorder in humans, Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, molecular basis of inheritance, the search for genetic material in DNA, structure of DNA orient, DNA packaging, DNA replication, central dogma, transcription, genetic code, translation, gene expression, lack of round. Question was from here, genome, human genome project, DNA fingerprinting. So that means every section is important because questions are often coming randomly from every section. Evolution, origin of life, biological evolution and evidence for biological evolution from paleontology, comparative anatomy, embryology, molecular evidence, Darwin's distribution, modern synthetic theory of evolution, mechanism of evolution, variation, mutation, recombination, natural selection with example, types of natural selection, gene flow and genetic drift, Hardy-Weinberg law, adaptive radiation, human evolution. There is a question from here that was homology based and analogy based. That was divergent evolution. Then you have to study biology and human welfare, health and disease, pathogens, parasitic causing human disease like malaria, filaria, Ascaris, typhoid pneumonia, common cold, amoebius, ringworm, basic concept of immunology, cancer, HIV, AIDS, adolescent drug and alcohol abuse. Question from filariasis, elephantiasis. Question was from here, HIV, this immunology. Then improvement in food production, plant breeding, tissue culture, single cell protein, biofortification, apiculture and animal husbandry. This is bee culture, honeybees. Okay, now on the next page, let's open the last page. You'll find syllabus. This is microbes in human welfare, in household food processing, industrial production, sewage treatment, energy generation and the biocontrol agents and biofertilizers. Then biotechnology and its applications, principles and process of biotechnology, genetic engineering, recombinant DNA technology. So there is a question related to the retrovirus. It was from here. Application of biotechnology in health and agriculture, human insulin, vaccine production, gene therapy, genetically modified organisms. There was a question from here that was regarding the committee which approves the genetically modified organisms. BT cotton, transgenic animals, biosafety, biopiracy. There was a question from biopiracy. What is biopiracy? And patents. The last unit, ecology and environment. Organisms and environment, habitat and niche. There's a question from niche. Population and ecology, habitation, population, interaction, mutualism, competition, predation, parasitism. There is a question from aminalism. Population attributes, growth, birth control, death rate. There is a question from birth. That was what is natality, age distribution. And there was one more question from population growth. Ecosystem, patterns, components, productivity and decomposition, energy flow, pyramid of number, biomass, energy. There is a question from pyramid of biomass. Nutrient cycling, carbon phosphate, ecological succession, ecological cells, carbon fixation, pollination, oxygen release. Biodiversity and its conservation. Concept of biodiversity. What is biodiversity? What are its patterns? Importance of diversity. How it is lost. Biodiversity conservation. Hot spots like northeast Himalaya and western Ghats. Endangered species. Extinction. Red data book. What is endangered species? What is extinct species? What is rare species? Etc. IUCN Red List, Biosphere Reserves, National Parks and Sanctuaries. What is the difference between sanctuary, park and reserve? What are reserves mentioned on UN agenda? Environmental issues, air pollution and its control, pollution of water and its control, agrochemicals and their effects, solid waste management, radioactive water waste management, greenhouse effect, global warming. There's a question from global warming. There's a question from greenhouse effect related. But direct question, there was a question from ozone depletion. There was ozone day celebrated on which day? Deforestation. Any three cases stated as success stories assessing environmental issues. So this is all in syllabus. So we are here to make you understand that biology portion is very easy. The biology portion is easy in terms of concepts. You just have to remember different things in biology. No calculation, nothing like that. Out of 90 questions in biology, you will be able to cross 80 questions. That is equal to 320 marks. Once you get 320 marks, you need to have only 150 marks more. That is equaling you 470 marks, and this is safe score because on this score students got selected in this year and in good colleges. So I must say that biology is important in terms of weightage, and in terms of preparation it is very easy to make it clear, because most of the questions, as you will see in my another video where I have analyzed the paper, the questions are basic, conceptual, not in-depth, NCERT based, and you will find that there is no need of mugging and getting sole number of large books. Just need to concentrate on simple NCERT plus these videos of mine or any other channel plus local guidance. You will get through. You will qualify for Neet with the help of biological boost. The biological boost you will get from this channel, Neet Biology Made Easy. The whole biology easy. The target is to touch 85 marks, 85 questions. In fact, your 85 questions should be correct. Only here and there 5 questions. If you think if they are wrong, but 85 should be your target across 85 questions, and it's very easy. So friends, I'm going to close this. Thank you for watching, thank you for bearing, and please subscribe this channel to watch more and updated videos. I'll be completing the whole syllabus one by one up to December 2018, then from all up to January 2019, so that you will be able to appear in test series from February, and in May we're going to appear with the help of this channel. Definitely guaranteed you will cross 85 marks, because these are based on concepts and clarity. Thank you very much.